A Marquette student hitting the fashion scene in London. We have the exclusive interview tonight. Filling in for Kira Collins, I'm Kevin Ellis for MUTV. This is entertainment. This is Marquette Lately. Ever wonder what fashion models do when they're not walking down the runway? Here's Elle, Marlo, and Aaron with the scoop on a high fashion model right here on Marquette's campus.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Style in the City. I'm your host, Elle Geringer.
Hey everyone, I'm Marlo Marisi.
And I'm Aaron Bledsoe.
Tonight we're interviewing a Marquette student, sophomore Rella Locke, majoring in elementary education and English with a minor in music, who was just hired by Dior to walk in September's Fashion Week in London. So we're just going to get started with a couple of questions and then maybe a little surprise at the end. Who knows? So Rella, how did you get started with modeling?
I've been a model since I was 7 days old. My mom has been a model since she was 16 years old, and she moved to New York when she was 18.
Okay.
So she got my brother, sister, and I all involved in modeling when we were born. I was actually a Gerber baby when I first started. And,
wow.
Yeah. And from there, just different jobs came up until now. So.
Okay.
Nice. So are you taking a break from modeling for school, or do you currently still pursue it?
I currently still pursue it. It's just a lot, it's a lot less busy than I would normally be in like the summers and stuff like that because of everything here at school with classes and stuff like that. I can't go to as many auditions or anything like that just because school comes first.
Okay, now what has been your favorite photo shoot?
My favorite photo shoot? My favorite photo shoot would have to been in January of my senior year in high school. I got to work with a photographer named Steve Hudson, and they just did my makeup and different clothing that was much, like, very vibrant and bright, which was very different than what I was used to, so that was really fun.
Okay, and I know they show a lot of glamour for modeling, but do you have any, not bad experiences, but like what's your least favorite part about it? Like what's the least glamorous?
Well, there are always shoots that you don't want to do because the clothing isn't exactly your style of clothing, or it's something that you definitely would not be caught dead wearing outside of the photo shoot or the studio or anything like that, but you do it anyway just because it's fun, so you just got to work with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Understood. Do you have any inspirations as far as designers or other models?
Well, one of my biggest goals would definitely be to be on the cover of Elle or Vogue or something like that. Definitely one of my big dreams, yep.
Okay, now what are you most excited about for next September's London Fashion Week?
Oh, I would say I'm just really excited to get into modeling in Europe because that's definitely another one of my big dreams aside from doing stuff here in the United States. Going abroad would be really fun time. So
that's such an amazing experience.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Really
yeah.
cool.
So, like you said, you want to you're looking forward to modeling in Europe. Like one of your dreams would be on Elle or Vogue. How far do you see yourself going in the future with modeling? Like, do you see yourself doing it in the future, or is it just kind of something you wanna like stop anytime soon, or what?
Well, because my mom she's been a big help in this entire process for me just because she's done it since she was 16, so she knows everything. She's like my go-to person about it. And she showed me that you can do it regardless. She still does it now with 3 kids, and she has her other job too. It's just it's a lot of fun for her to continue to do. She still has her friends from when she was 16. One of them is actually my godmother. So
that's so cool.
Yeah, so it just shows like you can do it for your entire life and you can stop whenever you want to. So
Okay, well, very cool. That's definitely a good possibility for the future. So right now, we're going to make you work. So for practicing for London's Fashion Week, we would really enjoy it if you could like show us your walk, just kind of do some fun stuff.
Teach us a little bit.
Let's see it, Rella. Let's see it.
All right, that's fine, I guess.
Very nice, very nice.
Very nice.
Looking good. Let's go on in Fashion Week. Very good. Well, thanks for coming on. Good luck with everything in the future.
Yeah.
And we'll be back then next week with another episode of Style in the City. So back to you, Kevin.
Thank you very much, guys. NBA lockout still stressing you out? Stay tuned to find out what future of basketball will be. All this and more with Marquette Lately when we return. With basketball still being in a lockout, Mike and Kevin, what do you think about the future of the NBA?
That's a good question, Kevin, and we'll get right into that. Welcome to the Weekly Fumble. I'm Mike Fox alongside Kevin Clancy, and today we're talking NBA lockout. The lockout is now in day 131, and this is the only time there's ever been work stoppage besides the 1999 season when there were only 50 games. Now, the first month of games is canceled. All of November is gone. And David Stern has come up with his ultimatum for the players. And the ultimatum is if the players don't accept this offer, where they would receive 49 to 51% of all basketball-related income, which has been the problem the whole time, that if they don't accept that offer by Wednesday, then the rest of the offers from the owners would be 47% plus a hard salary cap, and the players do not want either of those things. Kevin, what are your thoughts on this whole ultimatum nonsense?
You know, it could either go two ways. A lot of the attorneys that are involved in the actual lockout dealing, they're saying that David Stern could be bluffing with it. You know, he's given out a deadline saying that if you don't come to terms with this agreement on the deadline, it's going to come down even harsher. And I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think he's bluffing with the whole entire deal, and we really don't know where it's going to go after this. I'm sure we'll figure out a solution within the next couple weeks, but at this time, there's really nothing that's going on.
And I totally agree with you. And as far as ending the lockout, you know, experts have said it's really hard to tell because both sides are back and forth, and they can't come to a compromise even when a federal mediator, George Cohen, was involved. And he was the same guy who helped with the NHL lockout. And so, you know, they just can't figure anything out. So what are your overall thoughts on the whole situation?
You know, looking at the entire situation, you know, it reminds me a lot of the NHL lockout of 2004 and 2005. The entire season was canceled. So they didn't have any revenue that was coming in. But it actually worked out for them. It actually worked out for them because the fans were not really excited about the NHL with the seasons coming up to the 04-05 season. And after the lockout, they got a huge ratings boost, and it was just a really good thing for hockey. And that's kind of the same scenario that's going on with the NBA. Their ratings have been down since 2007, really down. I mean, they posted their lowest ratings at 6.2 for the finals in 2007, and they really haven't had a good rating season since the 80s and 90s. So I think it could be a good thing with them not having the lockout.
And I think you're right. I strongly agree. So that's all we got today. Thank you, as always, and back to you, Kevin.
It will surely be interesting to see what happens with the lockout. Thank you, gentlemen. Never know what to eat when you get the late night munchies? Well, here is Brandon to tell you the best nighttime snacks.
Good evening, food fans. As Kevin said, I'm Brandon, and this is something to chew on. Have you ever found yourself waking up out of your sleep late at night or not being able to sleep at night because you're so hungry? Well, I have. And I'm not one of those people to just not eat because I don't want it to mess with my sleep. If I need to eat, I'm going to eat. So thanks to the inspiration of another host, I took the liberty of searching for some good midnight snacks to eat. So people say that midnight snacks cause insomnia because they mess with your REM sleep and all of that. Well, there are some snacks that can relax you and help you sleep. The key is to stay healthy and not to eat something heavy. If you do like Heathcliff Huxtable from The Cosby Show and eat a hoagie at 11 p.m., then yes, you probably will have a crazy dream like the one he did. Also, sugar is probably bad for you too late at night because it raises your blood levels and it'll actually keep you awake longer. Go figure, right? If you keep it healthy, you won't feel fat in the morning either, so your body will thank you. So you know how I told you last time that protein will keep you awake? And you remember when I said anything in moderation is okay. Well, in this case, a little protein won't hurt. A little calcium and a little carbohydrates go a long way too. The key word there is little. If you go overboard, you just might not be sleeping for a couple hours. Some good food options to eat as a midnight snack are meat like poultry, warm low-fat milk or cheese, whole grains like a bowl of cereal or a peanut butter sandwich, scrambled eggs, yogurt with granola, or an apple with an ounce of cheese. That's Ellie Geringer's favorite. My go-to snack is a bowl of cereal, and my favorite snack right now is Cinnabon cereal. It's actually sweet, and it may be keeping me up longer, so I don't really recommend that, but it leaves me satisfied, so I eat it anyway. And with that, I conclude this week's segment of Something to Chew On. I think this week's show should benefit you most since college does strange things with your sleep patterns. So next time you can't sleep, go ahead and try it out. I'll see you next time. Deuces.
Thank you very much, Brandon, for that. Conrad Murray found guilty of involuntary manslaughter. Want to find out what will happen to the next celeb doctor next? We have the inside scoop with Marquette Lately. Welcome back to Marquette Lately. Michael Jackson's physician was found guilty of manslaughter. Here's Lisa Mihalik with The Insider.
Hello and welcome to the High Society. I am your host, Lisa Mihalik. Believe it or not, we have another mind-blowing story this week. I was going to do some more or less lighthearted chat about Kim Kardashian getting home from Australia safely, or how some crazy lady named Mariah Yeater claims Justin Bieber to be her baby daddy. A little side note here, she said they had some promiscuous fun before he became famous, and he says he's never met the 20-year-old woman. Weird. Well, those stories, although interesting, don't even compare to this ironic, astounding story. Okay, you ready for this? Dr. Conrad Murray was convicted of involuntary manslaughter of a man who sung his heart out on stage for as long as he could. I kid you not, the man who I am talking about is the one and only Michael Jackson. Conrad Murray was Michael Jackson's personal physician during the final months of his life. You have got to be as shocked as me.
Conrad Murray acted with criminal negligence. Conrad Murray looked out for himself and himself alone. He wanted this employment. He didn't want to lose the employment, so he had to say yes. But that's not what a doctor does. That is not what a doctor does. That is antithetical to the legal obligation, the ethical obligation, the legal duty of a doctor.
When the verdict of the trial was read, Murray showed no emotion, not even a hint of a surprised look.
We, the jury in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Conrad Robert Murray, guilty.
Defense team of Murray says that Michael had to have injected more propofol than he was supposed to and probably consumed other sedatives, which apparently explains why Murray couldn't have come to the rescue in time.
Dr. Murray did not kill Michael Jackson.
But the defense countered, arguing Jackson killed himself by injection, saying Murray is not to blame.
They want you to convict Dr. Murray for the actions of Michael Jackson.
In fact, jurors were told Dr. Murray is a victim of Jackson's celebrity.
If it were anybody else but Michael Jackson, anybody else, would this doctor be here today?
Well, I don't know, but that was a good point made. Murray left illegal drugs within the reach of someone he thought had a drug addiction, which means Murray was still responsible for Jackson's death. Now, I'm not one to point fingers, but things aren't looking too hot for Conrad Murray. He is guilty as charged. Many of Jackson's fans were elated to hear the verdict, as were his siblings, who says that Michael's spirit would be with them in the courtroom and that he would be the one to make sure the verdict was made right. So now you may be wondering, what happens to Murray? Well, it looks like Murray faces a penalty ranging from probation to 4 years in prison. Well, I'm Lisa Mihalik for MUTV Entertainment. Kevin, back to you.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Which politician has been hit with some sexual harassment charges recently? Well, Theo has the story.
Hot off his leapfrog into first place, Herman Cain's past has hopped into the spotlight with him. Turns out that during his time as the president of the NRA, that's National Restaurant Association, he may have gotten himself into a little bit of a sexual harassment case involving 2 or now 4 female subordinates. The details beyond that are sketchy, and journalists from all over are pressing Cain for details. But apparently Cain's never heard of a scandal before and decided not to get out in front of it. Instead, he's taken to confusing the hell out of nearly anyone following the story. First, it's I don't even remember paying them anything, and then we settled for 3 months' salary. I never thought we'd see the day where Herman Cain was pining for journalists to tear apart his 999 plan. The campaign's reaction to the scandal has been called unprepared and unprofessional, and the trouble certainly doesn't end there. Listen to Cain's comments made earlier this week on the weaponization of China.
To do, we will outgrow China, and secondly, we already have superiority in terms of our military capability, and I plan to get away from cutting our defense a priority and make investing in our military capability a priority, going back to my statement, peace through strength and clarity. So yes, they're a military threat. They've indicated that they're trying to develop nuclear capability, and they want to develop more aircraft carriers like we have. So yes, we have to consider them a military threat.
You might have noticed something he kind of slid in at the end there, the part about China developing nuclear capabilities. Thing is, China's had nuclear capabilities since 1964. That's right. Cain's been taking a beating in the media this week, but there is a diamond in the rough for the Cain campaign. Public opinion. Surprisingly, despite the nearly universal negative news, Cain's poll numbers have remained steady, ahead of previous frontrunner Mitt Romney. Let's hope he stays ahead for the sake of comedy.
Thank you very much for that, Theo. Now, can we see how these elections might turn out this year just by looking at Cain's little mishap there? Well, we'll see. That's all for tonight. I'm your host, Kevin Ellis. Tune in Thursday for more entertainment news. This is Marquette Lately. Have a good night.